Okay, so we're diving deep today into something I think a lot of people wonder about.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like this age-old question, really,
Yeah.
does hard work really equal wealth?
Right.
I mean, you've sent over some fascinating research and articles that kind of look at it from all these different angles,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
it really makes you think about, like, your own life,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, when you see someone who's, achieved a lot financially,
Mm-hmm.
how much of that do we chalk up to just, you know, pure grit and putting in the hours versus, other factors that might be at play?
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic question, and it's really the heart of what we're going to dig into today.
Okay, cool.
We have all this material that explores this whole idea, starting with, this concept of meritocracy.
Right.
That's, so ingrained in, I think, a lot of cultures, but especially like the American dream narrative.
Yeah.
This idea that if you just work hard enough, you'll be rewarded, right?
Okay, so let's talk about the American dream. I mean, it's such a powerful story we tell ourselves. And i- in many ways, it's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
This belief that anyone can climb the ladder if they just put in the effort.
Yeah.
And, we see these huge success stories, right? People like Oprah Winfrey or Elon Musk.
Right.
They often talk about how, their intense dedication was like the key to their wealth.
Absolutely. I mean, their stories are incredibly motivating.
Yeah.
And they really highlight, the benefits of hard work, things like developing your skills, building connections. But, the sources you sent also encourage us to look beyond these individual examples.
Yeah.
Because in reality, not everyone starts at the same point when it comes to financial success.
Right.
It doesn't matter how hardworking you are.
And that's such a crucial point, right? I
Yeah.
mean, for every Oprah or Elon, there are tons of people who are working incredibly hard,
Mm-hmm.
but they aren't seeing that same level of, financial reward.
Yeah.
And research points to things like your socioeconomic background, right where you start in life,
Huge factor.
access to quality education,
Mm-hmm.
even inherited wealth.
Yeah. All of those play a huge role.
Those can have a massive influence on the opportunities you have.
Absolutely.
And it feels like those are barriers that even the most dedicated effort can't always overcome.
It's true. And, it's not just about overcoming those initial barriers.
Yeah.
Our sources also highlight this element of luck and timing.
Oh, interesting.
Think about the tech boom and those entrepreneurs who rose with it, like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates.
Right.
I mean, their hard work is undeniable,
Yeah.
but they were also in the right industry at the right time.
Wow. Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, how much of creating wealth is about individual effort versus, being positioned to ride these larger trends.
That's a really good point, especially with all the talk these days about hustle culture, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I think the sources acknowledge that putting in the hours can, help you build skills and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But they also touch on burnout
Right. There are definitely downsides.
and the need for strategic thinking.
It's not just about blind effort.
And yeah, maybe even a little bit of luck doesn't hurt.
It plays a role, for sure.
And, if we zoom out even further,
Yeah.
the sources remind us that wealth isn't just about money.
Right. It's much broader.
It's health, it's well-being, it's strong relationships,
Exactly.
and access to those opportunities, which, we've talked about is not equal. That plays a huge part.
It's fundamental, really.
And this brings in the idea of privilege, right?
Yeah.
These unearned advantages that some people have based on where they were born, their background.
As the sources show, that can really impact things.
So it's definitely more complicated than just saying effort equals wealth, right?
Oh, yeah. It's way more nuanced.
The sources really emphasize that we have to consider the economic systems themselves.
Right. The bigger picture.
Things like market shifts, recessions,
All those external forces.
that those can impact your finances no matter how dedicated you are. The example they give about gig economy workers is really striking.
Oh, yeah. That's a powerful one.
So many people working in the gig economy are incredibly hardworking, but they're still facing financial insecurity
Yeah.
because of things like wage stagnation.
It's a systemic issue.
It really connects to this larger conversation about wealth inequality
Right.
that researchers like Thomas Piketty have been highlighting.
And it's interesting because the sources don't say hard work doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's obviously valuable for personal growth.
Yeah.
It can help create opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But they consistently show that hard work exists within this larger framework.
Okay.
This complex web of societal and economic forces.
So it's not that hard work is irrelevant.
No, not at all.
It's that it's one piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Exactly.
And the sources make a compelling case for both sides.
Yeah.
Where they show how individual effort matters.
Yeah.
But they also highlight all these external factors.
Like access to resources.
Right? Systemic inequalities, even just plain luck.
Right place, right time.
It really challenges this simple idea that hard work alone guarantees wealth.
It's more about the interplay of all these elements.
Yeah, so that's really the key insight.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work is important, but it's not the whole story.
It's a much more complex picture.
So I guess the question for our listeners is,
Yeah.
thinking about everything we've discussed today,
Mm.
both the things you can control and the things you can't,
Right.
what aspects of building a fulfilling and prosperous life do you believe you can actively shape?
That's a big question.
And where do you think broader societal changes are needed,
Mm.
to create a more level playing field for everyone,
Yeah.
given all these complex factors that we've uncovered today?
That's what we really want you to consider.
That's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
It's been a pleasure.
See you next time.
Bye.